The signal was meant for one man, but 1,000 warships came. It started with a whisper in the stars, a simple distress signal encoded in an obsolete Terran protocol, broadcast from a lonely mining moon in the outer Perseus fringe. It was weak, barely holding together, and it should have been lost in the endless chatter of deep space. But it wasn't, because someone remembered. 27 years earlier, on a frost-ridden battlefield on Epsilon Threx, a young human lieutenant named Caleb Ward had done something unthinkable. He saved a single alien child. While two great powers clashed above and orbital fire rained from the sky, Caleb found the terrified girl cowering beneath the wreckage of a fallen cruiser. Her species, the Viratari, were enemies of the Terran Union. But Caleb didn't see an enemy. He saw someone afraid, someone alone. He wrapped her in his jacket, defied orders, and carried her 5 kilometers across the ice fields to a neutral extraction beacon. When questioned, he simply said, "You don't leave children behind." No one ever mentioned it again. Caleb left the service years later, disappearing into the forgotten edges of the galaxy. He took jobs fixing mining drills, hauling scrap, and repairing outdated comms arrays. Just another quiet life among stars no one mapped anymore. Until the pirates came. They weren't just raiders, they were slavers, merciless and well-armed. The small mining colony of Dara 4, where Caleb had been living, had no defenses. The pirates jammed outgoing signals, landed ships, and began taking prisoners. Caleb tried to resist, but he was old now, slower, outnumbered. Still, just before they destroyed the comms tower, he managed to send one last encrypted signal, a frequency no one had used in decades, a frequency tied to a name he had almost forgotten. It was the only thing he could do. Then he was taken. 3 days later, space cracked open. It began with a ripple, an unnatural shimmer in the black. Then came the first ship shaped like a spearhead of silver fire, its hull glowing with ancient Viratari war glyphs. Then another, then 50 more. In less than an hour, an entire fleet emerged from folded space, weapons charged, shields bright, and banners raised. The pirates laughed at first. They'd never heard of the Viratari, never fought them. They thought the ships were bluffing. They learned otherwise. The fleet didn't negotiate. They didn't threaten. They purged. In 15 minutes, the pirate ships were ash and vapor. Not a single slaver survived. When the smoke cleared, one sleek Viratari command verse landed on Dara 4. A dozen armored soldiers emerged, their armor glinting with royal sigils. From among them stepped the girl. She was no longer a child. She wore a high marshal's cape now, ornate, flowing with command. Her eyes had the sharp weight of experience, but when she saw Caleb, bruised, shattered, he is not a prisoner. He is a guardian of the flame. Caleb blinked, stunned. "You remembered me?" She stood. "You didn't save a child, Lieutenant Ward. You saved a dynasty." What Caleb didn't know, what no one had known, was that the child he'd rescued was the only surviving heir of a long-banished Viratari royal line. The rescue had reignited ancient oaths. It had restored peace between warring Viratari factions. It had led to a rebirth of their civilization, and they never forgot. They had watched him, quietly, across the years, not to use him, not to thank him, but to protect him. Now, as Caleb looked out across the horizon and saw hundreds of Viratari ships holding orbit, he felt something shift deep inside him, something heavier than gratitude. It was belonging. They offered him a place beside them, a title, a ship of his own. He declined. "I just want my people here safe," he said. "That's enough." But the girl, now a queen, smiled. "Then we will watch this moon until you are gone. No harm will ever touch it again." From that day on, Daruptuan 4 became something more than a forgotten mining colony. It became sacred Viratari territory, watched over by a fleet that never left, guarded by a pact written not in treaties, but in compassion. All because one man, decades ago, made a simple choice: to help someone he didn't have to. In the vast dark of space, where war and power rule, sometimes kindness is the loudest signal of all.